All right. So, you're entering your first relationship, maybe second, or maybe you just want some advice on relationships. Maybe something didn't go so well. Well, boy, howdy, I have some tips for you. So, I just got out of, it was a couple months ago, my first relationship. And I say got out of, it was just for the better, honestly. We were going in different ways. That happened. But during that time, I had, I would say, a extremely healthy, good relationship. And I want to tell you why. Number one. Okay, this is important. Before you start this relationship, you need to ask yourself what the goals of your relationship will be. What are your expectations from this partner? What are your goals from this partner? So, say you're like I don't know. I'm imagining you're like 16 years old. So you're in high school. You want to know what's going to be good for you in high school. Maybe it's somebody just to talk to. Maybe it's somebody that just makes you a better person because they're better than you in certain ways that you admire. You have to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you're going to veer off and you're going to forget why you're even in a relationship with this person. Because relationships are great. They are literally addicting. Because you love this person, so you want to do everything for them. So you're just going to give up other things like a dry act. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And it's not necessarily a good thing all the time. So if you have goals and you know what you want from this relationship, which is your expectation. Goal is what you're working towards, expectation is what you want sort of immediately. So goals are important because if you're going to try and achieve something with this relationship, you have to have them. And maybe it's this simple. Maybe you just are like, I want to try this thing that I've never done before, but share it with your partner. And if they're like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship with somebody, that's something I've never experienced before, that's cool. Share that. That's important. Okay. Goals down, expectations. Expectations are how much you want out of them. And I think this is important when it comes to like physical boundaries. Sex, really big one. If I would say on one of the first dates, it's uncomfortable, but be like, and you don't have to say this at the start, but you could probably say this later down too. But before you're like actually, doing stuff, just be like, hey, are you comfortable with this? Should I set this as like an expectation from you? Or that's it. It doesn't have to be sex. It could be something before sex or anything. Are you comfortable with this? Always ask that. Like, I know in the movies they don't ask to kiss. I remember my girlfriend, she was like, oh my gosh, like, I almost knew you were the one because you asked to kiss me. And obviously I wasn't the one, I was just a guy that's single now. But it definitely gains that person's trust and admiration if you are respectful and ask to kiss them. Don't have to do it, highly recommend. Okay, point number 2. You're not always gonna feel super attracted to somebody. It sounds weird. This is one of the biggest things for me. I was like, I don't know if I want to break up. I don't know, like, if I care about this person anymore. That's okay. It's okay to feel that way. A lot of times, not a lot, but like there were several times where I was like, I just don't, and never say this to your partner right now. Like, because it goes into my next point, but I'll save that. I don't feel attracted. I'm thinking this. I'm not saying it. And I'll tell you why later. I'm not attracted to them right now. What do I do? What do I do? That's okay. I think one thing is when you feel not attracted to them, when you're away from them, that's okay. When you're with them, that's a little different. Then you might want to consult yourself a little further and be like, hey. But attraction as a whole is kind of like a sine curve, if you know what that looks like. You kind of start in this sort of honeymoon phase, and you're going to be like, wow, they're so lovely. I just literally always thinking about them. And you might still be year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, always thinking about them. I know I definitely was, but you can't always be thinking about them. Or you're not always going to be thinking about them that way. Maybe like it's a month in. It was for me. I was a month in and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this person anymore. Puppy love exists. Basically, after that honeymoon phase is gonna hit, you're gonna feel this thing and you'll be like, whoa, this is real. This isn't just some like ambition thing that I wanted. This is a real relationship with somebody. And it hits for a lot of people. And you're gonna have to ask yourself some questions. Also, a little later. So, you're not always going to be like in love with them. You may even feel a little passive towards them some days. Some days, if they're acting a stupid way, not stupid, but like acting a certain way and like trying to does something that like makes you feel uncomfortable, that's going to like lower that. And this goes into my next point. Point number 3. Don't talk about things. Like, don't tell them things about themselves that they can't control. Specifically that they don't like. That you don't like. This sounds obvious, but it's, for somebody like me, I'm very open. I want to be like, let's get through this problem together. Sorry about the hiccups. Let's get through this problem together. Let's work through it. I don't know why I feel this way towards you. Sometimes you shouldn't say anything to them. Maybe consult like a therapist or like your parents or your friend, something like that. Because if you're telling your partner, hey, I just don't like, maybe they have Tourette's, I don't know. I don't like when you do your tics. I don't like your tics. I think that they make me so uncomfortable. You know that's like a super blatantly horrible example. But it's like, I feel really sucky when you just go out and start tweaking. I'm like, that's so unhelpful. That's so unhelpful. So when you're trying, and why it's tricky is because sometimes there's this line and it'll be some things you do that make them feel weird. Okay, for example, maybe you're like a professional athlete. When you get injured, you don't feel attracted to your partner because you feel like you can't support them, and therefore you're kind of, and for a male, maybe your like testosterone drops and you lose confidence in yourself and you feel like you can't be attracted to your partner at the time. Cool. Is that something your partner can solve? No. That's you. You have to you can't tell them that way. You can tell them, but it's gonna hurt them so much that it's like, you shouldn't tell them that thing. It would just be better to be like, hey, I'm working through something right now. I don't want to share. Because that hurts. If somebody tells you you're not attracted to you because of something they can't control and it's just going to go fluctuate, then your girlfriend, if you're that athlete's girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, you're going to be like, well, guess you're never getting injured again. Or like, you're going to feel a necessity to want them to stop injuring themselves. That's not your job. It's not your job to manage somebody so that they stay attracted to you. So if you feel like your attractiveness drops towards somebody because you do something wrong, it's better not to share it, because it honestly just hurts somebody. Okay, a couple more. Okay, so this goes back to the goals a little bit. You have to ask what you're doing or what your partner is doing to actually make you feel like succeeding in your goals. It goes back to puppy love. So when you're in that puppy love stage and it hits right after it ends, and you feel, it doesn't always, some people don't have that, some people do. I definitely did. For me, it was about a month in, and I was like, what am I doing? What's all this? Like, why do I feel so bad about this relationship? And it hits, and you're like, oh my gosh, don't know what to do. You have to ask yourself why you're in a relationship with this person. And this goes with the goals. If you have goals, get them together, and then share them with the person. So I remember, I think one of my goals for a relationship is like find somebody that I think I could marry. Not that I'm marrying, that I think I could marry. And I shared that, and I was like, you know what? I want this relationship. I could see it end in marriage. I was 16 at the time. You don't want to like put the pressure on them to start that. No, I take that back. If you want to get married to this person, like in the future, make that a explicit thing. And for me, the end goal of dating relationship usually is always marriage. I never try and date for fun. I don't think it's wise. Anyway, that was an explicit goal. And if your goals don't match up, and you're at that puppy love stage where it hits, and you realize that this person is not actually benefiting you, and therefore you cannot benefit them, then what are you doing? Just get out. Get out in like a respectful way. It's like, hey, my goals aren't aligned with yours. And I'm starting to realize that what I want out of this relationship, I'm just not getting. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go. And that sucks. The next part, I think, is once you're already in the relationship, but it's good to start before. Always try and one-up yourself. When you're going into this thing, you're starting at base level. You're level 0 boyfriend, level 0 girlfriend. You're not there yet. You're not supreme overlord, noob versus pro versus hacker, bro. You're not hacker yet. You're just noob. So you need to learn how to be really good at this. And part of the way is showing yourself up. Like, be like, that was yesterday me. I did something cool yesterday. So you like, I don't know, gave her flowers. That's nice. What I like to do better, man. Next time, that doesn't mean you're giving her flowers every single day of her life and giving you all the attention you could ever do. No. It's like, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit more thoughtful next time about flowers so that she likes them even more. Bang! And then with gifts, too, on big holidays, you gotta surpass the gift each time. And I know it sounds stupid. Maybe this is just my personality. This is where it goes a little bit from advice to, like, stuff that I thought was effective. Because if you get them a bomb gift, and bomb in a good way, the first time, and then you throw like a freaking hockey puck next time, yikes, bro. You gotta do better. It sounds stupid. I sound like I'm giving like a talk. This is more like, that's my conscious. Okay, next one. Be positive. Big thing. This is not just in your relationship. This is your mindset the whole time. I truly believe that if you are negative, you cannot be in a relationship. If you're consistently shutting your partner down and just being like a pessimist, your relationship is gonna suck for your partner. And honestly, it's gonna suck for you because you're gonna be sad all the time. Or you're gonna find things that you don't like about your partner because you're just a pessimist. Like, that's how it happens. Like, it starts with you criticizing the world about things like, oh, I don't necessarily believe this. I hate our president. I hate war. I hate that this is happening. It's okay to hate those things, but you'd be like, gosh, if the gas prices weren't so high. Gosh, if my life wasn't so terrible. What are you talking about, dude? You're alive. That's something to be infinitely grateful about. And there's obviously a lot of different theories about this and like what it really means. From my experience, every single day that I've been positive, I love it so much more than when I was a negative guy. Like, I used to be like, you could always do better. What are you doing? And like criticize people, not openly, but in my thoughts. You can work your thoughts to be more positive. And it's important. It's important that you do. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're constantly just being negative, that energy, it almost feels like you're punching them to be around them. Have you ever been around a person like that? It sucks. As a partner, you do not want to be somebody that your partner avoids or thinks is negative or bad. Never. That should never be the case. Alright. This also goes into life advice / relationship advice. Don't be judgmental. Your partner is somebody that you can trust, and if they make a mistake, you can be like, bro, you could be like, why'd you do that? That's fine. That's completely cool. But then to be like, oh, it's probably because your mom, like your mom raised you that way. You know this person. The thing is about judgment is judgment 99% of the time starts by absence of knowledge. So when you're making judgments or assumptions about your partner based on what they're doing, even in your mind, if your partner makes a mistake and you assume that they're doing it for the wrong reason, you're judging them. And that's completely wrong and false. Because in a healthy relationship, you should 100% always assume that your partner wants the best for you. And if you start to assume that your partner doesn't, either you or them do not belong in the relationship. And it needs to end. That's important. If you do not think that your partner genuinely wants the best for you, then you either need to have a serious conversation or you just need to leave. This is one thing about relationships that a lot of people get wrong. It's okay to leave. It's okay to leave. And I'm not saying give up. I'm not saying quit. If you have something good going and you're just going through a rough patch, you better hold on. You made a commitment and you're not going to leave this relationship until something is seriously wrong. Now, that doesn't mean domestic abuse or some sort of addiction or that sort of thing. But if there's like something that, if your goals become misaligned, leave. Because this person, like, in my opinion, your future is above the relationship's future. Most of the time. And if your partner and you have significantly different outcomes and you're not planning that and making sure it works, and you're just like, I just care about this so much, I'm going to sacrifice my future for them. No, don't do that. You'll regret it. You will regret it. Because the only thing that gets you more fulfilled than your partner is yourself. You fulfill yourself. Seriously. Not in like a selfish way, like, I have everything I need, I am the perfect human being. No, not that way, but what you do is you give yourself energy, and if your partner wants to take it away, not deliberately, but in the way that they're switching life paths, then you need to stop. It's not worth it anymore. Okay, next one. Tell your parents. A lot of people say this. This is basic. If you're in a relationship, obviously your parents could differ from a lot of them. But if you want to start a relationship and you haven't told your parents, tell your parents. It's important. If you don't tell your parents, your relationship immediately becomes wrong. Because it's a secret, and your parents deserve to know that. Obviously, if you're above 18, or your parents are seriously removed from your life, or like not great, and when I say not great, I don't mean they're like mean to you sometimes. I mean like seriously abusive in some sort of way. Then don't tell your parents. You shouldn't. But if you have just parents that love you and want the best for you, and you're just embarrassed to tell them, tell them. I'll tell you right now, your parents are excited for what you're about to experience. Your high school relationship is one of those things that are, for me, it was one of the best experiences of my life. I learned so much, changed a lot, and it only lasted like a year and a month. So it's not like these things have to be this big, long thing for you to grow. But tell your parents, because they will know, number one, and that's important. If they don't know what's going on in your life, especially with that sort of thing, then they're not going to be able to help you in a way. Do you know what I mean? If they're going to try and give you aid or help you succeed in your relationship, give you advice, you have to first tell them so that they can help you. And if you don't feel comfortable telling them, that sucks. You just gotta get over that hill. For me, I wasn't comfortable. It took me like 2 weeks to be like, I'm gonna tell them. And then I finally just, I really like this girl. And I got it out. You know, it's important that you do that. If you don't do that, it's not wise. Okay. Next point. Be deliberate. This is part of my system and how I think that it works as a love guide or whatever. Be deliberate with your time with your partner. Super important. If you're gonna just spend time with your partner, that's okay. It's be like, okay, we're just gonna relax together. We're just gonna relax together. Cool. Don't have to have an agenda. But if you're just be like, let's go on a date, and you have no plans at all, or no intention behind why you're going on a date, I'm not gonna say you're going on too many dates, but you have to start considering, why am I doing this? Is this really benefiting our relationship? I had points in my relationship where we just went on dates, we didn't know what we would do. Or we didn't have an intention for what we wanted to, accomplish with them. And it's not like you have to have a super detailed plan. It's just like, or even have in mind exactly your intention. Just like, I want to spend time with you. I want to further our relationship. And I think one way of doing that is going on a date. Cool. Done. But if you're just going to be like, let's go on a date because I don't have anything else to do, then it's just like, it's iffy. And I mean that because if you're just consistently going out with somebody, their relationship is going to feel less special. It's just going to feel like a commodity. It's going to be like, oh, I can just go out whenever with this person. It's not going to feel special. You're not going to look forward to it as much. Because you've set out this expectation that our dates are just this sort of hangout thing. And that's going to become the norm. When I was going on dates, when I was dating, I should say, super important. It doesn't even have to be like a complex idea. Let's do like bingo or something in a mall. That's an idea. Or just like, let's go out for dinner, but we're gonna try and order something for each other and see what happens. Like, be creative. Be like, I want to make this variety. I guess what I'm trying to say is keep dates important. Like, keep dates sacred almost. Like, this is special and good. And this leads into my next point. Don't go on too many, like, focus on your life before you focus on your partner. I said this a little bit before, and this is going to be my last or second to last point. Your partner needs to know that you have a life. One of the best pieces of advice that I got for dating is that you love your partner, but you shouldn't love your partner more than you love your life. What you need to do in your life, your partner should be your favorite person, not your favorite thing. So this basically means if you're an academic and you're like more of a scholar type, cool. And you want your 1600 on your SAT. All right. That's more important than your partner now. Practicing your SAT, being disciplined about getting up and going to do your work and making sure that you finish it is now 99 out of 99 times the thing you should do instead of hanging out with your partner. And I'm not saying don't never hang out with your partner, don't spend any time with them. I'm saying make a schedule, incorporate your partner into the schedule, but don't break the schedule to hang out with your partner. So if you have SAT tutoring on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and your partner wants to hang out on Wednesday, say, hey, my expectation is that I need to do this. This is a super common one. I need sleep tonight. My schedule makes it so that I need sleep at maybe go to bed really early, 9:30. I can't text you right now. I need to go to bed. I need to focus on that. That's more important. That's going to create a boundary. And this boundary is one of the most important things in a relationship. If you can have a boundary between your life and your partner, that's so good. Because if you just hang out with your partner all the time, like I said before, it's going to become less special. Now this part, you're not going to have as much energy for the things you like to do. And you're not going to feel fulfilled anymore because you're spending all your time with your partner and you're not spending time on things that fulfill you. Maybe your partner fulfills you in some degree, but not to the extent that, like actually living your dream does. So if you want, let's say, I'm going to Yale, I'm going to Harvard. That's your goal. Stop texting at 11 o'clock or 1 a.m. in the morning, being like, God, I just love her so much, I feel obligated to keep talking to her. The healthy thing to do is to set a limit. Say, hey, I can't do this right now. And if your partner cannot respect that boundary, then your partner is not somebody that actually cares about you. Or if they care about you in some way that's demented and they care about the idea of you, but not your actual future. Because if they care about your future, then they will take the time to figure out something else to do. This is so big. And this is maybe my last thing. I might do one more. Okay, last thing. Sync schedules. Make a schedule for dating. Stick to it. I want to go out with you every Saturday night. Cool. That's your day. You will go out every Saturday night. Now you have this time that you can spend with your partner 100% of the time. And you, if I'm talking to you, you better not break it. If you say, all right, I'm going out every Saturday night with your partner, and then you cancel last minute, you're a bad partner. You're being a bad partner. You have to stay diligent and mean what you say. It's important. And this kind of is also another part of the schedule. Make a schedule for your life. This is a life/dating advice. Make a schedule for your life. What am I doing at each time of the day? And it doesn't have to be super detailed. It doesn't have to be, I'm eating breakfast at 8:45 p.m. and I will have the milk in the bowl at 8:50. No, it doesn't matter. Like, that's too specific. If it stresses you out, you're being a little too specific. Okay, I don't even want to say that. If it makes you work, okay, I have to be careful here. Your schedule is designed to keep you accountable and on time. If you're not accountable and you're not on time, then your schedule is not doing anything. So maybe you start small. Be like, hey, I have these chunks of time I'm going to do things. And maybe then you get a little more specific. Then you're like, okay, I'm going to have a break here. I'm going to have a break here. Like, I'm going to the gym from 2 to 4 p.m. I'll be back home at 12. Or not 12, 4:30. Then you can get a little more specific. Maybe your schedule is, I'm going to spend 4 hours on Wednesday doing typing class. I don't know. Do that. But don't live your life without a schedule. Because then you're not going to know what time is important and what time you have dedicated for things. You're not going to realize that the time you needed to do whatever is being improperly spent. Believe it or not, it actually takes a schedule to realize that. Because if you don't have a schedule, there's no accountability. I'll think of one more thing. Last thing. Communicate. This is so basic, but I'm adding something that you probably haven't heard. Communicate what you expect and how you like to be loved. And I know this sounds like, well, what? What do you mean? Like, how you like to be loved. There are love languages, sort of. I think a lot of people are just all love languages. I never had a super big preference for anyone in particular. But if you feel most loved, and you might not know this, when she writes a letter to you, or like says hi, or just like make sure she cares. And I'm saying she because I'm just assuming heteronormativity, and that I have a mainly male audience. But maybe it's a she, or he, sorry. If you have that, it's important to know. And you don't have to know immediately, but you will start to have an idea. And if you're happy with how she's treating you, you don't have to say anything. But you could say like, hey, I really like when you, I don't know. I, as a guy, I liked receiving flowers. My girlfriend got me flowers, I think once, maybe twice. I liked receiving flowers. Tell her that. Be like, hey, I like receiving flowers. I like when you give me gifts. Great. Like, I love, if you're a guy, what's a good gift? I don't know. I love when you give me protein powder. I love when you buy me protein powder. Keep doing that, please. And because if you're assuming you're in a healthy relationship, your partner will greatly appreciate this. Like, oh, it makes it easier for me. I'm excited about this. I get to do this thing for my partner. They ask me to do it. They trust me to do that for them. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.